All right, hey folks, Brett here. So everybody keeps asking me now why the drone that I picked and what's good about it and what's bad about it. Another difficult question to ask. I'm just going to go through this one drone. This is the one that everybody should probably start with if they've never had a drone before. This is the recommendation I have. Never had a drone before, don't go buy a cheap $100 one. Get this. This is the DJI Mini 2 SE. It's a folding drone. Under 250 grams. It folds open, 4 propellers. The little cover comes off right here, revealing the little camera. It's a 2.7K, so high definition camera. Most of you can't tell the difference on a phone, on a smartphone or a tablet. You can't tell the difference. The average lay person who's not into professional video and photography can't tell the difference between a 4K video and a 1080p or 720p video. You just can't. So this is more than enough drone for you. It takes a micro SD card. This one's 64 gigs in the back. It takes a small battery that'll give this drone 25 to 30 minutes of flight time. You can charge it with a USB-C port. It's a stabilized camera, so when the drone flies or moves, this counter gimbal is countering all the movements that the drone is doing, so you've got super stable footage. The radio is just a little collapsible radio. These control sticks actually unscrew and they stow in the bottom here when you put them away, so you don't break them off when you're packing them around in a bag. It has a USB port in the bottom to charge it from. Take these out and you screw them into the control port right here. Raise this little thing up. This is the least expensive way. Take your smartphone out and you clasp it in there. Take your smartphone out, put it in there. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart. And you connect the USB port coming out of the back of this radio, coming out the back here, into the phone. Then you press this button once short and once long. So you go bop, bop. It turns on. Now it's searching for a drone. So then you take your drone, you got the bottom of your drone here, you see this little button, you press this twice. So wait for a second here. So short, long, hear it coming on there, it made a little sound, okay? And then on your screen, you'll have this little screen that shows that it's connecting to an aircraft. That'll take a second while it searches for the radio signal, and now it should be up on the screen, and the drone is seeing, you're seeing with your phone and the controller what the drone is seeing. Now it's going to acquire some satellites up here in this corner here. It's going to acquire a couple satellites. It's showing you how much battery power you have, 96%. Shows how much RC radio power to communicate with it. The radio talking to tell the drone what to do is full, and you have satellites growing in number. Then down here in the corner you have a little map that you can look at to see where on the planet you are once the internet lets you see that. But this is just the view of the drone right now. We're going to set the drone right here. Once we get satellite lock, you need to have a few satellites locked in before you can take off and go fly with it. I set the drone down on the ground. We want some room around it so that it doesn't bump into people if it goes berserk. So make sure there's some space around the drone. Take your little radio control and you're going to press downward and inward at the same time with this, and it'll spin up the motors. Let go of those.
Take off.
Okay, now you got some information on your screen and it's going to tell you to take off. So you're going to just press up on the radio control and it'll go up into a hover. You can let go when it's about 15 feet up and let it just kind of sit there in a hover and do its thing. Then you can rotate the screen around, right turn with this stick, panning to the right, left turn with this stick, panning to the left. Bring it closer to us so we can see it. Try not to do this without practice, folks. It's kind of dangerous. You don't want to get hit with this thing. There we go. I think you can kind of see that. Okay. So left stick, right stick is turning left and turning right. Forward and backward is right stick, left, right, forward, right, back. Yaw left, so travel left is left, travel right is right, and all with this right stick. So direction of travel and direction of looking, basically. Ascend, descend. This drone has GPS, has a GPS unit in it. It will sit here and not move until the battery's dead. It'll stay right here in a hover and not leave until the battery's dead. All day. Well, 25 minutes. As you can see, it has the little camera. No matter what I do with this thing, let's see if I can make it do some Yankee movements. You see, when I move the drone forward and back, it doesn't care what it's doing. It's nice and stable. If you look at the screen for video, you press the button down here. So you've got camera for still photos. Take a photograph. Video for video footage. I can touch on my position on the screen here and get the drone camera to basically change its exposure settings. So now I'm recording video footage, just doing video, and then turn that off with this button here. Stop video recording. Over here I've got a toggle so I can tip the camera up and down. If you look here, that lever here makes the camera tilt down and up. Down and up. There we go. And then we'll just go for a quick flight really quick. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. Oh yeah, you can see it. So we're going to tip the camera up. We'll hit some video and we'll just bazabber over this way. Watch out for power lines. There's power lines up there. I know where they are. I look left and right, make sure no cars are coming on that road, and then hit the throttle. Pew! Off we go. And out it goes, out over the driveway, up in the air. And it's just going to fly, fly, fly. And then we'll go do a climb, do a pan, look around, potlatch a little bit. This drone can fly farther than you can see. You need to keep it in visual line of sight. You need to be looking at it. So I'm looking at the drone with my eyes right now, and I can see where it is. You want to try to keep it in sight at all times. You don't want it to get out of sight. But if it does, another cool feature this has over here is this button. You can return to home. So I'm going to press this and hold it, and it'll stop what it's doing and come back to me.
Return to home.
And it's just going right straight back to where it's going to climb up to 200 feet because I figure that's the tallest tree around. You always want to set your home point higher than the tallest thing around. So now I'm going to look at the drone with my eyes, not looking at the radio screen, and I'm going to fly backwards toward myself. Don't do that if you can't see the drone. You need to be able to see where the aircraft physically is when you do stuff like that. Okay, so right now it's over here by my neighbor's house. I don't want to go directly over their house because they have some livestock. Don't fly it over people's horses and cattle and stuff, and people in general if you can avoid it. It's rude, disturbs their peace, and with a heavy drone it's really dangerous. You can hurt someone. Okay, so here comes my drone headed back to us right now. There's a tree there. I'll stay away from that if I can. Bring it back in nice and slow. We'll switch to this other camera over here. There we go. And then you can bring the drone in and catch it with your hand. So when you move your hand underneath the drone, it's going to sense that there's something under it, and it's going to move away from it. It's like, uh-oh. So bring it back down again with the radio. It's got sensors, and it's like, hey, I don't want to bump into something. I don't want to hit that. So it moved away from it. But if you hold it like this, Put your hand underneath it and wait till the motor's shut off. It'll turn itself off and you've got it back. Really super awesome drone for the price. Between $300 and $350 for this radio and drone and battery combined. It runs with your phone. You run it with your telephone, with your smartphone. Great Christmas present. Super forgiving, pretty easy to fly, and more than enough quality for the average person to not know the difference between professional 4K footage and this 1080p 2.7K. You're not going to know the difference. Okay, Merry Christmas. Go find one.